Hello there. I hope you all had a good weekend and are off to a good start this week. So, your readings this week deal again with history and people's reactions to new technological developments. So, one of the things I ask you to read this week is the short story The Birthmark by Nathaniel Hawthorne. I assure you that this is both shorter and more interesting than The Scarlet Letter if you have been forced to sit through that before. But the story takes place in the time where we've moved from natural philosophy into the field of science, but there's still a lot of concerns around the field, and rightfully so. You've got people experimenting, you've got people trying to convince others of their findings, and as the character of Elmer in this story shows, scientists were regarded with a lot of suspicion. Elmer, of course, as an alchemist and one who is engaging in practices that far exceed his abilities and understanding, should be regarded with a good deal of suspicion. We'll also be looking at the article History as Technological Change by Rosalind Williams. And this article brings to the forefront the importance of the language we use when discussing technology. Something I want you to be conscious of when you're talking about technology, especially when you're talking about detrimental effects, socially or otherwise, make sure you're specific about what technology you're referring to. For instance, anything that we have created or harnessed in order to help us live our lives better, be more productive, make our lives easier is considered technology. From pencils to paper to tables, the list goes on and on. So I think a lot of times when we are talking about technology, we automatically default to smartphones, computers, internet, things like that, when what we should say, for instance, in dealing with those technologies is information communication technology. So be conscious of that. That's something that I'll start pointing out on the discussion board in essays, etc. Speaking of essays, you do have your first essay due this week, the technology timeline. And this essay is incredibly simple. I'm just asking you to choose what you believe are the three most important technological innovations and to give a little history on those and make your case for why those innovations are among the most important in history. I'm not asking for an introduction or conclusion with this, keeping it super simple since it is one of those first writing assignments. I do ask you to format it for MLA. We do have information on the site for helping you do that. Please also remember you have access to the Writing Center and the online writing lab. So if you're not able to come to campus but you want to get some feedback and help with your essay, you can use the online writing lab as well. Other reading you have this week, Why We Freak Out About Some Technologies But Not Others by Clive Thompson. Very quick read, very simple. Just remember the three criteria that he discusses. And I asked you to read chapter 3 of The Second Machine Age. There are a couple of videos sprinkled in, some for fun this week if you have time to check those out. And a lot of the videos that I add in are supplemental. So, if you have time, check them out. I've got an excerpt from The Trouble with Tribbles, which is quite a famous Star Trek original series episode. I have a video on Watson, whom you've seen referred to in your text, and how he was able to beat characters playing Jeopardy. And I like this excerpt because it talks about machine learning in terms that are easy for most of us to understand. So those are really the big stories for us this week. If you have questions, as always, please let me know. I am super looking forward to your essays. I really enjoy getting these. I usually learn something. So you all have a great week, and I look forward to seeing those essays. Take care.